What's up, friendly neighborhood nerds? If you want to hear interviews from industry pros, get first looks, and have access to endless comic content, wake up. Please wake up. You're in a coma. Your mother misses you.
Ba-boom! What's up, friendly neighborhood nerds? This is Judah McRadstein. That's the full name. And I'm here with Robo. I'm here with Todd Bernardy. We have Cypher coming up soon. And this is Live from the Apocalypse. Todd is from Nerdwatch, which is another good podcast. I can't say it's better than ours.
It's not.
But it's good.
It's
good.
I mean, it's okay.
It's fine. It's fine.
So fine. If you've listened to all of I Freaking Love Comics, maybe check out Nerdwatch. But if there's still a couple of episodes that you need to catch up on for I Freaking Love Comics, catch up on those first before you get into Nerdwatch. You know,
appreciate that.
Freaking love comics.
You know you're gonna get shit for saying that now. I can't. Now I have to watch the next episode of Nerdwatch because they're gonna give you shit for saying that if they get to hear it.
Yeah.
I like Nerdwatch. So this is gonna be a good episode. Unfortunately, Ree is feeling under the weather. She's not here. We do have Cypher of Cypher World coming, and that's going to be awesome too. And maybe we'll talk about a little bit of video game stuff later. We got some good stuff coming up. I see we get some people filling into the chat. We got Glennis, we got Michael Malone. Todd, why don't you, before we get into what everybody's reading and watching and stuff, why don't you tell us about what you're working on these days?
So I just finished pretty much the inks and I'm starting to get into the lettering and coloring for the second issue of Mohawk Thunder, which is my first superhero comic book. I write and draw comics that are primarily based here in Hawaii. I do a comic book called Kukui Project, which is set in the future in Hawaii, and Hawaii has become a kingdom again, and they have their own space program. And then another book that I do is called Disco Thunder Groovebone. And it's about two guys looking for the last coffee plant on Earth, coffee's been eradicated by an evil energy drink company called Thunder Chicken. Both of those comics are available on my website. Mulberry Groove, MULBERRY. GROOVE groove.com. So when I'm done, I've got a black and white version of Mohawk Thunder issue 2.
Bring it into focus. Bring it into focus real quick. Oh, you're doing that blurry background thing where we can't see it.
Yeah, it's got like when it's focused, it's got a bit of there it is.
Yeah. Oh, there it is. Don't move. That looks dope.
Yeah. Thanks, man. So that's a superhero story about a guy who's half Hawaiian and half Maori from New Zealand, and he has he's been endowed with superpowers, and the story is based on sort of Pan-Polynesian mythology, because a lot of the Maori mythology and a lot of the Hawaiian mythology have common ancestors. So a lot of their stories are the same. A lot of their language is the same. So I'm been borrowing from that but updating it and making it modern.
Nice. We got Daria in the chat. What's up, Daria? Hey. Sweet. And I think Cypher might be showing up any second now. Is that true? Oh, Robo, you're muted. I can't hear you.
I don't know why.
So as soon as Cypher pops up on the video, he can go ahead and tell us what the hell he's up to. By the way, just trying to feel the room. I switched to, instead of my big douche flute that's loud, where it's like, I switched to this kind of itty bitty like. I feel like this one not only looks cooler, but it's quieter. What do you guys think?
Yeah, definitely douchey.
I can't hear it.
And I feel like I can hold it like an actual cigarette. It's, for as bad for you as cigarettes are, they still look kind of. You can't. You can't deny it's just like a, hey guys,
Hey,
how's it going? You know.
Hey, can
hey,
you guys hear me?
I'm loving the douche flu rant, but can you guys hear me? Obviously, said you stopped
Hey.
talking. Cool. What up?
What's up, Cypher? How's it going? What have you been working on lately?
I've been working on. Oh man, I've just been covering all these all the pettiness going on between Microsoft and Sony.
There you go. There you go.
Bro, they just been throwing straight shots at each other when it comes down to the releases of their new console, the Xbox X, well, Series X. Fun fact: a lot of parents were pre-ordering or buying the Xbox X, thinking there was the new system because Microsoft thought it was clever to call their new system the Xbox Series X.
Yeah.
I thought it was hilarious. But yeah, that's all I've been doing, man. Just trying to keep up with all, it's the holidays coming up, all these new consoles, new game releases. The Capcom Tokyo Game Showcase was this weekend. That went well. But yeah, that's
Dope.
If two people of equal strength and equal fighting ability were having a fight, and their only weapon that they were allowed was an Xbox, and the other one, the only weapon that they were allowed was a PlayStation, which one do you think functions better as a bashing type weapon?
definitely the Xbox. That mini fridge will mess you up, bro.
Yeah.
You think so?
But it's kind of unwieldy though. It's like this weird kind of like cube looking thing, but like, yeah.
Have you ever thrown a brick at somebody? I mean, I'm not saying I have. I mean, I was there. My point is, it's possible. I mean, considering like the curvature of the PlayStation, like I don't feel like that as a weapon. I don't think that will be like my first choice. Plus, the Xbox Series S, which is the smaller version, the digital version, is shaped as a hot plate. So basically, you know, what I mean, that's wieldable. I mean, I don't know if it's
like almost like a Captain America shield kind of thing.
Almost, yeah. Only this one might obey the laws of physics more often than not.
Okay.
But yeah.
So that should be part of the marketing. That should definitely be part of the marketing. Like, here's the processing speed. Here's the video processing. Oh yeah, and wieldy as a bashing weapon. Like, you just never know.
Fun fact: that was the GameCube's whole marketing. Like
Really?
the GameCube was like, hey, by the way, yeah, you guys got the Xbox, you got the PlayStation 2. The GameCube has a handle, so it's portable. It had a little, yeah, and I'm like, really? That was like the whole selling point. Like they were like they were really proud of this little back handle.
Hey, I think Todd, is your camera frozen? I think it is.
Not.
Are you deep in thought, Todd?
Dude, I thought he was really paying attention to me. I feel bad. Should I hop off?
No, I'm not gonna lie. Let's see if he comes back.
We lost Todd.
He was like,
he had a connectivity problem. It looks like. I'm not gonna lie. As I was watching it, I saw he was like this, and then he wasn't like laughing. I'm like,
I thought he was just deep in thought.
Did he just get some bad news? I'm like,
I honestly thought he was like, oh, this dude is so corny. Why is he here? And then he was just like looking at me with disappointment.
No, dude, it's like the meme. It's like the meme where the chick is really deep in thought, and you see all the equations on the board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah, right.
All right,
so
let's wait for what we're reading. Let's wait for him to come back because I know he has a lot of stuff. I'm sure he'll.
Well, that's great because what I really want to talk about was The Boys. Have you guys been watching that? Are you caught up?
Yes.
Did you see?
Yes.
Did you watch last night?
No.
Yes.
No.
Oh, yes.
No.
Can you plug your ears real quick?
Dude, just mute us like you always do.
Oh shit! You texted me, bro. I'm so sorry. No, I'm just kidding. Go talk about it. I give you 5 minutes. Go.
Okay, so spoiler alerts. Dude, do you think that there's going to be a big war between the fucking metahumans that are the soups that have been locked up in that asylum versus like the seven?
This is what's going on, right? They're basically setting up like the teams, right? So right now you got Homelander and Stormfront in their own side. Then you gotta have Queen Maeve. She's probably gonna join the Boys. Because I don't know if you see like if you go see the original trailer for the season 2, there's a scene where she punches Stormfront in the face. So you know that's gonna come down, right? And I can't wait for that. Obviously, you got Starlight in that squad. I think.
But then you also have the church. You have the fucking A-Train, and now what's his face?
And the Deep.
The Deep, yeah, they're gonna have a team.
Here's what's gonna happen, bro. I think A-Train and the Deep is gonna get relegated almost to a satirical. They're gonna be like the comic relief characters and stuff. I don't see them taking such an active role. However, if they gave Shockwave the A-Train mantle, then he's gonna be closer to what A-Train was in the comics. So he's gonna be even more of a douche than this A-Train. You know what I mean? They kind of even look alike, right? And here's the thing, though. I know the story from origin from the comics. You know, I just did not expect them going from like, she's a Nazi, but she was also Va's wife. Mm-hmm. So what I don't get is what I don't know if she's just trying to manipulate Homelander, further, just further line to him, and like I think that's what it is, because that's what's really gonna push him over the edge.
I believe her when she says that she loves him because he represents everything she's ever cared about. I believe him. What's up, Todd? We're just catching up a little bit about
Amazon Prime's The
Boys.
I don't know if can you hear us?
Yeah.
Yeah. We were just talking about The Boys, Amazon Prime original. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you caught up. We don't want to ruin it for you.
Yeah, well, there's more
spoilers.
Yeah, spoiler warning. Robo got us muted, so you know.
We can move on. We can move on from it. I do want to I want to circle back. Maybe not today, but maybe next live when everyone's caught up, because I'd like to do more of a deep conversation about it. 'Cause it's pretty interesting.
Well, I've seen them all.
I have not.
Oh. Okay.
Well, how about this? How about next week we plan? Everybody get caught up. We're gonna have a whole issue, a whole episode dedicated to The Boys.
You do know a new episode comes out every Friday, right?
Yeah, so Saturday.
Yeah, so Friday night, right before Saturday, gotta watch it.
Even Thursday night in Hawaii.
There you go.
Because it comes out.
Yeah, because it's 6 hours before. Okay. Yeah. So I'm gonna text you, Robo. Right? Just just choose when to ignore me.
Stupid. I don't ignore them. I just don't reply sometimes. That's the difference.
That's cool. You don't have to reply. All you gotta do is say,
watch The Boys.
Just watch The Boys.
All right.
So, real quick, let's before we get into the news items, let's go around the room. What's everybody reading, watching, playing? I'll go ahead and start. I want to watch I want to read Infinity Crisis, but I want to read it like the right way, because I've read it before and it was completely too much shit. I didn't really understand it. So I decided, I was talking to Sam Stone, and he kind of gave me the reading list, and it's huge. And I'm almost done with it. I'm almost ready to crack open Infinity Crisis again and understand all the shit. So that's kind of exciting, but that's what I've been doing. And I'm also reading Dr. Mirage.
Yeah.
And as far as watching, I'm watching The Boys, and I'm not really playing anything.
Why are you reading Dr. Mirage? Why are we reading Dr. Mirage?
Well, that's actually a really good question. It's because tomorrow we're going to talk to Magdalene Visaggio, also known as Mags, and we're gonna do a interview with her. So it's pretty exciting. Also, I was thinking of reading Shadow Man. Do you have any idea why we might be reading Shadow Man?
They're on the calendar. I'd have to go through and pick which ones.
I'll get back to you on that one.
Yeah. Who's coming up for Shadow Man?
So Shadow Man is written by Cullen Bunn.
Oh shit! Yeah.
And he just agreed.
You know that.
He just agreed to talk to us on our show as well. So a lot of cool things coming. Oh, and then I just have to say this. I don't have a cool, neat little way of saying it, but Fabian Nicieza is going to be on our show too in 2 weeks. So it's the guy who co-created Deadpool. So I think that's pretty goddamn exciting. I don't know about.
Don't you hate Deadpool?
Yeah.
I don't hate Deadpool. He's not my favorite. He's not my favorite superhero, but I don't hate him.
Okay.
We should do it live so Chris could be in the chat and be like, "Do you still think he's overrated?" No.
I mean, I do think. Yeah, that's good. Oh, we're using real names.
Oh, my bad.
Oh, yeah. No, I was trying to do the whole, don't worry about it.
No,
moments past.
The Spider-Man thing.
Yeah.
Cool. So, Todd, what are you reading, watching, playing?
I am reading. I just finished the Outer Darkness Chew trade, which is awesome. If you like Star Trek, Outer Darkness is another John Layman story where every ship has an exorcist, and all the ships are powered by gods. So there's this really interesting fantasy element to this sort of high concept sci-fi story. And they're supposed to negotiate a treaty with a race of people that only communicate eating food. And so they bring Tony Chu into the future to help negotiate this treaty. And there's a couple of twists towards the second and third issue that are pretty interesting. The other thing I'm reading is Big Girls.
Oh yeah, we just did an episode about that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. So the first issue is awesome, and it grabs you right by the balls as soon as issue 1 grabs you, and like
the
page
baby,
4.
the kid getting shot in the face is where I was like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
So I just finished. Can you guys see that? I just finished issue.
Big Girl 2.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's the one they sent us. They sent us that a week early, and we did the video on that one, and that's a good one. I really liked what's happening with that.
So each one of you guys, if you guys will have to rate it from 1 to 10, what would you rate it? Obviously 10 being awesome.
I mean, for me, it's probably like at least an 8. I mean, probably close to a 10. It's only 2 issues.
Yeah.
So I mean, it could take a nosedive towards issue 7 or 8 or something.
Yeah.
But the concept's pretty strong.
Sorry. No. To me, I prefer like a strong start. Like I hate like I don't like
a slow burn.
No, not even because like how many times you start a show and people are like, hey, bro, by season 8 it gets good, and I'll be like, bro. Yeah. It only has 8 seasons, you know what I mean? Like,
but there are shows that really do get like Breaking Bad. Dude, the first season of Breaking Bad is not easy to watch.
The first 5 episodes of Breaking Bad is it's hard to get through. I will admit. Yeah. I'll be but I also love Breaking Bad.
But the first episode of Breaking Bad is awesome.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, like yes. You're like totally into it.
I love the first episode.
It's a slow burn to was Tuco in season 2.
It was towards the end of season 2 when they blew up that building. For me, when he finally shaves his head, because those episodes between killing Crazy 8 and Emilio, it was just like, oh my god, get over it. You know what I mean? It's like, just do it already. But
once the Gus stuff starts, the show's in a full sprint.
I love Gus.
But fun fact, I used to work in that building that they blew up.
No shit.
Really?
No shit.
Yeah, it's actually a coffee shop. It's not a biker bar.
It's not a bed. Okay, cool.
Oh
wow. People used to come in all the time thinking it was a biker bar. Like, hey, you guys, we just have coffee.
It's the power of special effects, man. You can turn any coffee shop into a biker bar meth lab with the right special effects.
The upstairs office was a architectural office. Like the architect was what they blew up upstairs.
It's funny you mentioned that, because when I went to Albuquerque, and you actually can go to the house where the white used to live, right?
Yeah.
And the owners, they had an issue, right? Like there was like a legit, when I went there was like a sign. This was like in 2017, 2018. There was like a sign that says like, we will call the cops if you throw a pizza in our roof. You know what I mean? and like to this day, it's still happening and stuff. They have like so many memorials. I went to the restaurant that was supposed to be Los Pollos Hermanos. Mm-hmm. I forgot what it was called. It was like a fast food chain. Like it was like a
like a Pollo Loco thing. Yeah.
No, it was like was it a Pollo Loco?
Well, I think it was supposed to be a fake one, right?
Twisters.
Yeah.
It's called Twisters in real life.
Twisters. That's what
I lived about 5 minutes away from that restaurant.
I'm moving to El Paso, and I plan within my first month of going to Albuquerque and taking the Breaking Bad tour, where they show you all of the filming locations.
And they drive you around the Winnebago, I think, too.
They do.
No shit. The Winnebago?
Not the
a Winnebago. I actually went to Albuquerque last year, and some people on the trip that we were on went to go see the house, and the house is like completely. You would think it's like somebody like a freaking president lives there. It has like all these like gates, these freaking wrought iron freaking fences with spears on top, and then it goes. You do not knock, do not ring the doorbell. You're only just fences. It actually makes the house look really ugly because normal people live there, but they have to do this. And then there's fences, all signs all along the fence that say you're only allowed to take pictures from across the street. If you take pictures up near the house, we will call the police and all this stuff.
I saw the sign.
That's so interesting.
Which is crazy because the biggest issue they had, because apparently the people that live in the house, at some point they had to watch the show because they got started getting freaked out. 'Cause
Yeah.
people started like chalking the site from the
Yeah.
twins,
The
and
fucking-
they thought it was like, oh snap, somebody's about to murk us, and it's not till later they realized it was just like another gimmick from the show and whatnot. But yeah.
Dakota says you should go and see the balloon fiesta. Is there a balloon fiesta in Albuquerque that I'm not
It's
aware
famous. It's like
Yeah.
hundreds and hundreds of big giant hot air balloons, and then they all take off at once, and it's fucking awesome. Yeah.
of? That sounds great.
Yeah.
I love balloons.
But here's the thing. You're
Like
now
they're hot air balloons.
yeah, giant ones.
The biggest.
That's it. That's the two things to do in Albuquerque.
Yeah. I was about to say, like, how long are you gonna
It's
stay over
true.
there, bro? Because
Yeah.
it's not that good.
All right.
I don't know, man.
Breaking
I'm
Bad
grasping
and
at-
hot air balloons. Cool. Let's go home.
I'm grasping at straws. I'm moving to El Paso, dude. I gotta make the best of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, that's true.
there's, El Paso. I mean, it's like 3.5 hours away from Albuquerque. But like you could go into Mexico and
Yeah, there's
have
Juarez
a
right
lot of
there.
fun too.
I heard
Juarez
Juarez
is right
is like nice this time of year, so
Bro,
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It's beautiful,
I'm not
bro.
a desert person. It's
And
so
they're so welcoming.
there's
America.
it's so beautiful. They made a video game out of it. It's like it's really good. You should check it out.
Good.
Yeah.
It's like a walking simulator, like kind of like Animal Crossing.
Oh, okay.
Albuquerque. I lived there for 9 years while I was going to college and stuff. And
So
it's true. It's true. I've been in a balloon in the balloon fiesta. One time, actually, I was coming back from Boston, and I got to fly in over Mass Ascension. So my plane came in over like 900 balloons
Wow.
below me. It was crazy. But that you're right.
gorgeous.
It's like if you don't like walking around the mountains or mountain biking or something.
Yeah,
There's nothing else to do.
it's super
Yeah.
outdoorsy.
Rollerblades off Amazon. They're coming soon, so I'm kind of excited to try rollerblading.
Oh man, the locals gonna love you.
Yeah.
And hacky sack.
There you go.
You just get into hacky sacks and rollerblading. You
Get
get
into
the
Are rollerblades and hacky sack in the same category of things people do?
I don't know.
All skater stuff. The skaters love.
No.
Yeah.
You might
Skaters
be,
don't rollerblade though. They skateboard. Like,
bro. All that means that you're gonna be in the same friend circle.
are rollerbladers and skateboarders part of the same culture?
What's going on, Fallen
I don't
Angel? How
think
you
so.
doing, bro?
They used to be. I mean, back in the 90s, they used to be.
I
right?
feel it goes like this: is that it's all about subcultures, like right. So like Xbox, PlayStation, mine's better. PC. What is it called?
The Master Race.
Yeah, PC Master Race, right?
The self-given title, Master Race.
And then even like people like that are playing Among Us now, I've seen in the chats, I've seen on Twitter, is that's not gaming. I'm like, bro, they're all video games. Shut the fuck up. And then it's all under the umbrella of gaming. When you look at it, even in the 90s, when you had like razor scooter tricks and rollerbladers and skaters, stuff like that, each one of them thinking that each other's not the real sport, but we're all looking at them as the same, you know?
I see.
Yeah. it's
Robo,
what?
I was gonna say, Robo, what have you been?
I think,
Real fast. Have
Yeah.
you guys read this, The Firepower?
no,
Oh
what's
yeah,
that
it's
about?
fucking dope. It's
Yeah.
fucking dope.
So
Robert
that's
Kirkman.
Yeah, it's really good.
That's the other thing that I've been reading. And I
What's the premise?
started with the graphic novel, and I did it right. And that's another one that I hope doesn't really take a nosedive or anything. It seems like Kirkman's got something planned for
He's a genius.
the next couple of arcs, you know.
What's the
He's a
premise?
goddamn genius.
Hey, we got Fallen Angel in the chat giving a low tiger ray. Low what is that? Cipher?
I think it's pronounced Lo Tigre.
Low tigre.
It's a thing.
It's a thing. It's a cipher world
It's
thing.
a-
So
it's
what's
Cipher
the premise of Firepower?
Firepower. It's about it's a guy who's he's been adopted, and he goes to find his real birth parents in China, and he's studying at all these Shaolin temples. So he's becoming a really advanced martial artist, and he finally goes to like sort of a Shangri-La type temple up in the mountains, and he studies with somebody who reveals that his parents used to be a part of that clan. But then betrayed the clan, and they're a part of a rival clan now. And there's also, supposedly in this monastery, there's also a room with a dragon. And one night they get attacked, and the dragon gets let out, I guess, or something, but like you never see it. Or like the room gets infiltrated somehow. But at the same time, the protagonist is able to throw a fireball. and it's the first time in 5,000 years that a martial artist has been able to throw a fireball.
So the first Hadouken.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And then that's where the graphic novel stops, and then the first issue goes forward like 15 years, and he's living in America. He's got 2 kids and he's got a wife, and he's left all the clan fighting behind in China, and it's starting to catch up with him in America. So he's
It kind of blew my mind that in comics that like anytime you don't like somebody doesn't know their parents, they're either huge assholes or just the greatest people who ever lived on Earth. There's nowhere in between. Like your mom and dad is never just like a regular old dude that works at Walmart or something. It's always like your father was the greatest man that ever walked. Like, dude, no, he was an asshole. Look, man, just distinguish yourself from him, and then boom.
Right. Yeah. It either makes you the hero or the villain.
Or the villain.
And in both cases, sometimes both.
You jump in between.
Yeah.
That's funny. All right. So let me go over my stuff. So today, finally, usually this week I'm in the middle of some trade that Judah gave me like 8 months ago, and I'm still working on or something. But this week I got a box from Dragon's Lair, Mililani comic book store. If you guys are ever in Hawaii, just swing by there if he's still around. And
owner's a complete fucking asshole. By the way.
But he's like the kind of asshole that you love. Like he's like
he's a great guy. Yeah.
Why the fuck are you looking at me? Thanks for your service. And
he's a great guy. He's a complete asshole.
The asshole that you love. That takes so many different meanings.
So here we go. You know, is Polly in the chat? Did Polly, fucking Polly. Just when I need her, she's not here. Yeah. So I got Web of Venom Wraith #1 from old Donny Cates. Pick that bad boy up. Villanova. So whenever I see a Donny Cates not lined up with Ryan Stegman, I'm always a little sad. But Villanova is super dope. Like these spreads are pretty sick. So I'm kind of excited to read this. Haven't read it yet. Also picked up Star #5. So I have not heard a lot about this, but I picked up Star #1, and I've loved it ever since. She has an infinity gem inside of her, the reality gem. Doesn't really know how to use it, and I that's like actually the part I love, because usually it's like, oh, I have this infinite power, and now they're just all doing exactly what I want. She's like, I don't know how to use this, so she's trying to like figure out how to do stuff. It doesn't always go right. Dark Knights.
I like Star a lot.
Yeah. Have you read it, Todd? I know you're a big two guy, right? Or are you mostly indie?
Mostly indie.
Yeah. All right.
It's not a marquee character, and I have a feeling the run's going to be very short.
Yeah. Or go digital.
Or go digital, but it'll probably be like, I'm guessing probably 6 issues max. Yeah. Unless they 6 or 12 issues, 1 or 2 trades worth. But she's a cool ass character. I'd recommend checking it out.
Super cool. That's really my shit though. Like I love the cosmic shit. Like and so it's like a mix of what I love. Cosmic power stuff, but also some normal person shit. I also picked up Snyder's this is so Death Metal Trinity Crisis, and it has like a nice glossy hardcover on it. And I'm a sucker for
is this all part of that dark universe that DC is trying to push out with the Batman Who Laughs?
Yes,
it's tangentially related. Yeah.
Gotcha.
But I mean, when you look up any reading order for death metal or all that stuff, the Batman Who Laughs, all that stuff is all a part of that. It's all a part of that metal shit. And then I picked up. I'm not gonna go through every single one, but I picked up a ton of the Dawn of X comics to catch up on that with New Mutants Marauders. There was a really freaking dope cover in here that look at that shit. I don't know why I like it so much, but that shit is gangster.
Oh yeah, that's my girl, Kid Pride, repping the Jews.
Repping the Jews.
Is she though? Is she? I heard something where she's not anymore, or did they retcon that?
She was like, I'm out. I don't like it here.
So I did pick up. Go ahead.
I read that article about the Kitty Pride stuff. Yeah, And like she was, and then she's not, and like she died.
She is. She is.
Mm-hmm.
They've just been kind of burying that about her. Kind of like it's like what they do. They do. It's the same as like when they whitewash a character or when they take a gay character and like never show them being gay. It's like the same kind of thing. Where they kind of bury those not mainstream white Christian qualities.
Right.
So it's been happening lately, but who knows? You know, I mean, it goes both ways. Sometimes it gets better. Right now, it's like kind of getting pushed to the background.
So I'm not clearly. I don't know if you noticed, but I'm not Jewish, so I don't have a lot of the same emotional connections to that stuff. I try to respect it as much as possible. I think where my bias is that when I see, and when it's, and I totally get it, it's different for this because when I see religion kind of like fade out, like when I saw in the MCU, Captain America goes, "Wow, he's a god" or something like that, like. I know God, and that's not him, right? Talking about Thor. I get in my head, I was like, you know what I mean? Like I hate all that stuff. Well, hold on, let me finish.
The biggest difference.
Let me finish.
Oh, okay.
And so whenever I see all that stuff, I kind of like I'm glad when they take it out. I didn't really care for how Kamala Khan does it. I think I know what you're gonna say, and then tell me if I get it right. The difference is that those religious aspects, even though me as who I am, I'm glad when they kind of like push that to the side, is that it's a part of your culture. So taking out the religious aspects is also taking out her culture in general. So
they can take out the religious aspects and keep her Jewish. I don't care if Kitty Pryde comes out and says she's an atheist. I'm cool with that. In fact, I would really like that. As you can see, I'm a fan of the Dark Lord, but it's not like Kitty Pryde. I love. She could come out as a Cthulhist, and I'd be okay with that. It's her connection to her Jewish heritage and culture that matters to me, not not her connection to the religious faith. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Let me be clear. I didn't want to rationalize it. I was just saying in my head. I was just sharing like my internal conflict. I was like, I like when they push religious stuff away, but this is kind of fucked up.
It's kind of weird. Like Family Guy does it best. I know a little like off the wall, but. Like Brian Griffin is an atheist, but he has met Jesus several times. Yeah. And even Jesus acknowledges the ridiculousness of religion and Christianity. So it's like the satirical nature of it is hilarious. So at the same time, I don't know, man. When it comes down to like the whole, I mean, I'm gonna say it, the Christian faith in their foothold on today's media form of entertainment, it's kind of a pain in the ass, really, to start trying to siphon through all that crap, almost to the point that it becomes cringy. So that whole scene that he's talking about Captain America, when he meets Thor and Loki, I mean, like, bro, you just met two damn gods.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You've been frozen. You lived to like almost a century by now. You know what I mean? The people from space trying to kill you. You could tone it down, okay?
Yeah.
Like clearly, there's no God in the heavens right now for you. So
right.
What were you gonna say, Todd? Sorry.
I just think that when it becomes over-explained, like in Kamala Khan's case.
Yes.
You know, like you can't just be subtle about it.
That's right.
You know, they have to be like, okay, well, for the non-practitioners of this religion, this is why that's important. Mm-hmm. But like, I don't think that that's necessary. Mm-hmm. I think that like you could just put it in there, and then if people are curious about why that detail was in the story, they can just do their own research.
100%.
You know what I mean? So that's what I don't like about like when people rhapsodize about their religions in comic books. It's just like you don't have to over-explain it, but you should definitely have that in there as a detail. You know what I mean?
So I've only read the G. Willow Wilson run of Miss Marvel, and my issue with it is I guess it's a little bit more complicated. Here's the deal. I'm glad that there's Muslim representation. I'm glad she's a Muslim, and I'm glad that it's a necessity that we have that everybody gets to see themselves in the comics. My issue is with the actual concepts behind it, where her parents and her brother are like incredibly restrictive of her. Like she's not allowed to hang out with boys. She has to sneak out if she wants to hang out with her friend who's a boy, and they're very strict towards her through a religious lens. And here's the issue. She rebels, but eventually she comes around to sort of admitting that they were right the whole time. And after reading the comic, I feel like the takeaway is that she should have just listened to them. And that's where I'm like, I can't get on board with it.
Hey,
you know what I mean? Like,
tell your Lockjaw story. I like this.
Lockjaw's not allowed in the house. He's a person. Lockjaw's a person, but he's not
He's a
allowed in the
dog.
house.
No.
In the house, you're not allowed. You can't have dogs in the house.
Yep.
But
He's gonna go on the carpet.
I don't know. I
That's why
don't
I'm
want
not
to
allowed
be.
in the house.
I don't want to turn this into like a big religion bashing. You know, people in the audience are probably, some of them are probably religious. Like, I respect whatever your views are. I guess
Yeah.
I sort of respect it because I respect that you're right to have them, but I don't necessarily respect.
Here's
the
what
actual
I'll say
concepts.
before I go to my last comment. Do you have something to say, Todd? It looked like you're about to say something.
Oh, I mean, just as writing Kukui Project, I've kind of encountered that a little bit with the Hawaiian culture, and the way that I want to be as diligent as possible when I talk about that and respect their religious beliefs. So in the future, there's still that, but I don't. And one of the characters is very heavily, very into Hawaiian spirituality.
Sure.
And in the future, they have their church. Their church is in Pidgin, and it's kind of a dead language in the future, the way that Latin is now. And so there's sometimes where I have characters sort of quote, quote like the Hawaiian Pidgin Bible, and there's one guy that talks about his Hawaiian beliefs versus his Christian beliefs, because I think that that's kind of important. And I know a lot of Hawaiians out here that are very spiritual, and they're from a long line of they have a lot of spiritual ancestors, but then there was a conversion where they went from the Hawaiian spirituality to Christian spirituality, but it's not any less Hawaiian.
That's interesting. Have you had any pushback from that? I mean, like,
no, I haven't. There was a woman. There's a lady that edits all my stuff and letters my comic book, and her name's Genesis Maya, and she's great.
That's a cool name.
Yeah, she did edit. She did edit some of my Pidgin. She was like, I looked it up and I read it, and I thought that was being, and she was like, well, you kind of would put, So I've had some people that have looked at stuff and been, to make me more accurate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So you do sensitivity reading and stuff like that. Hey, is this kosher? Is this good to go? Yeah, that makes sense.
No, it's only I only ever get that from other white people.
That makes sense.
There are other white people who are being very sensitive on like a Hawaiian's behalf.
Yeah.
And I think I've told that. Did I tell you guys the Hawaiian salted story?
No.
Did I tell that last time?
No.
Oh man, like I was in the comic book shop and this white guy was like, "Oh, so you're a white guy, but you're writing about Hawaiian culture and stuff." And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Don't you think that that's cultural appropriation?" And I was like, "I don't think so. I mean, I'm not doing it. I'm not disrespectful about it, and I try to do all my research. And my wife is from here, and she's Polynesian, and she's the first person to tell me whether or not I've messed up. And then the guy who's at the counter, Swan, he's full Hawaiian, and he was like, "Yeah, man, we love Todd. He may be a cracker, but he's Hawaiian salted."
Nice. That's dope.
I'm kind of mad I never used that term when I was in Hawaii.
Hawaiian salted.
Hawaiian salted should be your your persona name, like your
the Hawaiian salted cracker.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot.
Whenever I do a sketch for him, he's like hashtag Hawaiian salted on it. He's like,
dope.
You gotta sign it Hawaiian salted.
That's dope. Hey, I feel awesome.
That's awesome.
Like a lot of that stuff is like, there's a certain level of nuance that I think, just a certain level like critical thinking and work that goes into actually figuring out, is this bad? Because I think on the face of it, what that guy is asking of you, I think is a fair question. But like as far as like, what exactly are you doing here? Are you exploiting Hawaiian culture because you live in Hawaii and that's going to sell here, right? And so I think the next step would be, well, have you read my work? And I think once you read it, you can tell, is this dude being exploitive, disrespectful, and shit like that? And it's clear you're not, so.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've had a lot of Hawaiians come up to me and pay me like that ultimate compliment of like, man, I read your work and I found out stuff that I didn't even know.
Yeah.
And there are people that are like, they speak the language, and they very familiar with the history and everything. And I'm like, yes, I mean, you know, that means a lot to me. But, you know, and with the G. Willow Wilson thing, you know, I think that where Miss Marvel comes around, you know, she doesn't want to alienate her Muslim readers either. So, you know, she wants to portray Miss Marvel as a traditional, you know, maybe Muslim too at that point.
Yeah.
And so I think, you know, you can see it as, you see it from that perspective too. Like, you know, you don't want Muslim readers to look at it and be like, well, that's just that now she's American, you know, like, and now she's not Muslim enough for me. You know what I mean?
Like, to go back to Kitty real quick, a very quick point.
Mm-hmm.
So if they showed her in a comic book eating bacon, and while she was eating the bacon, she was like, man, my grandma would kill me if she saw me eating bacon right now.
Yeah.
Because I'd be like, great.
Perfect.
Acknowledge.
Let me know she's, yep.
Yeah.
But
Right.
if I saw her eating bacon and there was nothing, no comment,
Right.
it's just, they were just showing her eating bacon, almost like they were trying to be like, don't worry, guys, she's not really a Jew. Like,
Right.
that's where I'd be like, fucking come on, you know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
it's like that. Like, Kamala, they can show Kamala breaking the rules and sneaking out and, like, meeting dudes or, like, doing normal, like, not normal people, but non-religious shit. And in the back of her mind, in her thought bubble, she's saying, oh, man, my brother would fucking beat the shit out of me if he saw me doing this.
But instead, they go further and say, not only, I need to wrap this into a consequence, you know what I mean,
Yes.
for that. And at that point, I'm just like, stop, you know. But before...
It's the same issue I have with any religion at that point.
Bingo. So bingo, right? So one thing that I think it's hard, I think we're in a climate where I do, and I think rightfully so, I'm not trying to be like, yeah, you can't even say anything anymore. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that I do want to be sensitive because I know that there are bigots out there who who will find an excuse to really just shit on brown people in general, like to where I have a problem with Kamala, like how they're kind of pushing the Muslim nature of Kamala Khan so hard in that volume, and then somebody else will like, no, why don't they just keep that shit in other countries? I'm like, whoa, no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying I hate religion. Period. Dot. Yeah. But moving on, I just want to brag real quick. So, and then we'll get into the news. We got some juicy news.
Ice Cream Man?
This is Ice Cream Man. So I saw a tweet out there, and I think it was the artist. I can't remember right now, but what it says was that every comic book shop, limited comic book shops, every comic book shop, I'm not sure. We'll say limited just to make it sound cooler. Got a foil edition of the cover, and so as soon as I saw that, I hit up our dude Luke. And said, hey, did this come in? He's like, I'll have to check in the morning. I said, okay, if it came in, I'm claiming it. And he said, okay, got it. Just make sure you swing through on Wednesday to pick it up.
Yeah.
Classic Luke.
I said, okay, got it. So I not only have my books, but it has this thing. So Wednesday, I'm like swamped. And then not only am I swamped, because I'm swamped, I forget. Wednesday night comes around and I'm like, bro, I'm such a dickhead. I'm so sorry. I'll pick up all my comics. Friday comes around. He's like, hey, I'm just going to ship them all out to everybody. Thursday, he was closed. Friday, I'm going to ship them out to everybody. And he gives me a total that is not enough money. And I'm like, I don't think you charged me enough because the ice cream one is $75 by itself. And he's like, nah, I already pulled out of your pack. And I'm like, bro, like I'm gonna pay you. And he's like, do you know how many people I could have sold it to yesterday? And he just gives me like the fucking thing. I'm like, he goes, all right, fine, here you go, here's your total. And I got this in the mail, and this thing is beautiful. One per comic book shop. Even like the sprinkles here are raised and also foil. This shit is just beautiful. It is just beautiful. I'm not even talking about
Get it slabbed, bro. Get it slabbed.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Oh, Martin Morazzo is the artist, and he lives in South America. I think he's like Brazilian or Argentinian, and he only comes up to America for like New York Comic Con.
Really?
Or sometimes San Diego. Yeah. he did a book with Joe Harris called Great Pacific.
Mhm.
So if you like if you guys like that art style, Great Pacific is pretty awesome too.
Dope.
He did the Great Pacific comic is about this guy moving to the Pacific trash heap and making it his own country, and he's figured out a way to out a way to solidify all the plastic and make it a continent. So it's
that's a badass concept.
Yeah, and so
That's a
he
hard
has to
flex.
deal. Yeah. So he's the son of an oil billionaire, and he's figured out a way. He was trying to figure out a way to make
To clean it.
to clean it,
Yeah.
to clean oil and to clean up plastic. And instead of cleaning it up, he made it like and melts it, into solids. And so
Sounds like the future.
yeah, but Martin Morazzo, he draws every single piece of trash in the trash heap, like it's nuts. So there's just so much detail in the guy's work.
Damn, that's dope.
Let's get into some news, guys.
All right.
So, we're gonna kind of move a little bit fast on some of these early ones that don't necessarily require a lot of discussion, just because we have some big discussion pieces towards the end. First item is CMON or CMON. I don't even know.
Oh my god.
CMON.
Fuck this
I
up.
don't even know how that's pronounced, but and as Modi Entertainment.
It's pronounced semen.
Seaman, yes. Seaman and Asmodee Entertainment are teaming up to bring two famous board game universes to comics. And when we say famous, we mean it. That's not. I didn't write this. This is from an article. The world of Twilight Imperium and Android are both set to get their own graphic novels in 2021, and this will be the first licenses for Seaman's new comics arm, Guillotine Press. So, anyone know anything about this, or does anyone have any personal connection to this? All right, let's get to the good stuff. All right, Marvel reveals horror-themed comic book covers for Halloween. Can we show some of these? These are fucking awesome.
Oh yeah, boom. Oh, I turned them all off. Turned them all on. Boom. Here
The
we go.
Living Hulk. You guys, check this shit out.
Is that a
It's
zombie?
the Hulk mummy. It's a Hulk mummy. Why is this not tattooed to my fucking face?
Manchester.
I like the colors a lot.
Is-
The
is
colors
it-
are awesome.
You trying to be
That's not
employed?
It's not Manchesterable. It's not a Manchester.
Hey, did you Manchester me to do something? I forgot.
I don't remember.
Okay, well,
Yep.
I'm off the hook. Anyways,
Check out this Marvel Captain Marvel Unleashed.
Yeah, like the alien. Yeah.
Yeah, these are just
Giant. Oh yeah, that's dope. That's dope. And I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
You know what's funny is they talk about like the speculation market and how like these variant covers have ruined comic books, and I get it. I know there's a really good, but I'm over here in the background like, yeah,
I want one.
yeah. Can I just pick up that one though real quick?
Can I get the Hulk one in foil with
I'll buy it. $75. Fuck, you're an idiot. Cool. It's worth $3 now. Yeah, that's fine. That's cool.
It's dope. I'm the same way. Like I can't resist an awesome cover, and I hate that about myself. I hate that. Sucks
really?
that I do that. But I mean, yes, dude, I do. If you see how much, like, you're only seeing a snapshot of this room, like, it's ridiculous what I've done with this place. I don't know. In another 10 years, I won't have anywhere to live.
And one day he'll have AC in there.
And one day I'm gonna fall in love and get married, and my wife, who's probably gonna be more sensible than me, is going to demand that I make room for the kids.
No, because you're gonna wait and find a wife who's compatible with you. And
I was gonna say clearly she's not the one for you. Clearly, move on.
Please. So moving on. This is so goddamn exciting for me. This is so fucking exciting. Samuel L. Jackson is back, and he's gonna play Nick Fury in a Disney Plus series. My only regret is that it's not gonna be a movie, because I want to see a Samuel L. Jackson movie.
Yeah.
Still, goddamn, that's awesome.
I don't know. I might
can't
be the
fuck
weird
with
one. I think I would prefer a series over a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've said the same thing before. Yep.
I don't know. I feel
Here's-
like with the character Nick Fury, there's so much you can do in just a
Facts.
series alone.
Facts. I'm not saying that the series is not going to be good. My biggest issue is the separation in canon that has typically occurred between TV and movies, where they could do an awesome Nick Fury series, but because of the way they market movies and what works as far as like drawing in the audience, they're not going to want to reference the show in a movie. they're just not gonna want to do it. They don't do it. They've never done it.
But here's
They
my
might
only
start.
thing. Here's the only thing I think about that is that you got to think about how much money Samuel L. Jackson is worth, right? And so that's like the biggest part that surprised me was like, wow, that just speaks to the budget. When you reach out like they did with Netflix and you sit there and you saw, like, that's why I'd be nervous. This is internal with the people who own the product, who's clearly has the budget. It's going to be canon on canon on canon. So I don't think we would worry about that. We'll see.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Here's my theory, right? I think if it might be one of those situations where Disney / Marvel are so confident in whatever they pull out that they can, you know how they do tie-in comics for this, some of the movies, more specifically like the Black Panther.
Yeah.
They will do the same thing. In this case, will be like the Nick Fury say, "Oh, when did this person get recruited? Oh, you're not watching Nick Fury?"
There it is.
You know what I mean?
It'll flow one way. Like the shows always acknowledge the movies. Even when you watched like Daredevil, they had newspaper clippings of the Battle of New York. Like the shows always reference the movies. The movies never reference the shows. And like I remember going to the theater to see Avengers, just praying against all hope that there be the Punisher or the Daredevil would just like make some kind of appearance, and it just never happened.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Maybe because like, look, you got WandaVision coming out. You got Captain America and the Winter Soldier. You got all the and then the Loki. The Loki is the only one that I know is not gonna. Well, not know, but I'm assuming it's not gonna be with the main Marvel MCU canon because
multiverse of madness, baby.
Yeah.
Exactly. So what I'm saying is like I highly doubt they're gonna do all these TV series, right? And when they start dropping movies, they're just gonna not acknowledge them or decanonize them. If that is that a word?
From your mouth to Feige's ears, man. I hope so.
Yo, I've been
I
trying
think
to
that
do
there's
that, bro.
gonna be-
He ignores my DMs.
Speaking of which, we also
I think there's going to be some. Oh, sorry.
No, you go.
I think that there's probably going to be some overlap. I mean, because a lot of the Nick Fury villains are Captain America villains, and there's probably going to be some overlap between the Falcon television show with Winter Soldier, and they're probably going to be fighting. I would see them fighting Baron Zemo,
I was about
for the
to say
first
that.
season.
Mm.
I think
That'd be
that,
dope.
and I think that that's all canon from the movies too. And Feige's already said that like you're gonna have to watch the shows to get the next couple of movies.
Well, that's good. That's encouraging. That makes
Yeah.
the shows
Yeah.
mean more fame.
Yeah.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. So is it? Cause I think I read this. I can't remember when, but is Khan the Conqueror gonna be like the big
Yes.
the
Kang,
big bad?
yeah.
Okay.
It's been announced that
Kang
Kang is going
I mean, so
Kang is going to be involved going into the future. He might be the next big bad, but in Marvel fashion, they might even have a bigger bad, which is kind of what I'm hoping for.
Yeah.
You know how like there's a big bad, but then behind the big bad is the Emperor Big Bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know.
It's
the
got
secret,
they
the
got
secret boss.
they got to do Galactus and Fantastic Four next.
Oh,
I think that they're gonna do that. I think that they're gonna do that before they get the X-Men.
I was gonna say,
I believe it.
am I the only one who doesn't want Galactus to
Yes.
be the biggest threat in the?
Yeah, I'm
Yes.
the only one.
Yeah.
Hear me out, okay?
I'm pretty sure on the planet. No.
No. That's good because
How do you remove someone from a?
Yeah,
just
it's
kidding.
just
You gotta
kick
press the right
from
button.
party.
I'll see you guys next week. No, hear me out. How can you make Galactus like the dude? And this is why you guys are here, right? All he does is want to eat planets, and he takes the slowest strolls to whatever planet is on his meal plan. That I don't see what about him is gonna make it into like a more like okay. Look at Thanos.
So
Thanos in the comics, they made him from him trying to get some death cheeks into like more compelling. Like I'm trying to save the universe. You know what I mean? They're trying to make him less one-dimensional, right? With Galactus, like, dude, I'm just hungry.
I can answer your question, Flo. So, stop thinking of Galactus as a character. He's not really a character. He's a force of nature.
Gotcha.
He's a force of nature. So, he's a plot device. He's a gigantic, terrifying plot device. So, from a character standpoint, you're right. Galactus is never going to be the biggest bad, but that's because he's not really bad. He does bad things, but they're not really. I mean, his bad things are like us stepping on ants. You know what I mean? He doesn't even view humans. He's not losing sleep because he's like a hurricane. He's just a disaster that happens to people. So he's going to be a fascinating plot device, and he's a peek into a larger world that we haven't seen yet. The cosmic abstracts, the cosmic entities that are like the real gods that are above the gods. You know what I mean? So that's what's going to be cool about it. It would be I agree that it would be a boring series of movies if our number one villain in the universe was Galactus.
I just keep picturing every post-credit scene. It's just Galactus just passing whatever solar system. Like, I'm almost there. And do shit. Like, you know what I'm saying?
This is the post-credit scene. Blackness of space, complete darkness, and you see little stars start to come into view. And then you hear a deep voice, and it's like, I hunger. And then you see just light, little lasers of light coming through, like what ends up being a hand. And the hand opens, and you see like a little dot of light, and the camera zooms in on the little dot, and it's the surfer standing on a hand.
Yeah, that'd be awesome, actually.
Now
again, back to like my this is what when I think about these movies, I always think about like the cinematic part of it. You know what I'm saying? Like for example, like how would that final battle be? Because like with Thanos, it was a lot of choreography, punching and kicking, a lot of very cinematic, very Hollywood-esque style of I just can't see like a bunch of like Avengers just climbing his arm, just like.
No, they never really happens like that.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying in my head. Go ahead.
The way they defeated Galactus in the comics is Reed Richards and Johnny Storm got a hold of the Ultimate Nullifier, which is a weapon. It's at the gauntlet level of power. It's a weapon that could destroy the universe, and they managed to get a hold of it. Just have Scroll Girl take care of it. I want that just for you, Glynis. I want that. But yeah, so they threatened him with the Ultimate Nullifier, and because Galactus always keeps his word, he was like, "Okay, well, let's make a deal. I won't eat Earth if you give me back the Ultimate Nullifier." And they hold to the deal, and it's very anticlimactic, and that's okay because what would be cool in the MCU is if they have that anticlimactic, they stop Galactus, and then 7 movies later, he comes out of nowhere and becomes important almost as an ally, maybe. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, he could be hovering in the backdrop as not the main bad, but as like an interesting plot device that reemerges.
One of my favorite scenes in movies is when they have like perspectives of like scenes that are just way too big, like to be normal. Like when they show a moon, and then the moon is like literally the whole horizon. It's like when I see that in movies, I'm like, oh, and that's really how I want to see it. I want to see a fucking giant head of Galactus, and it's faded on the long line because of the way light diffuses, and it's just this giant head that takes up the whole horizon. I need to see that in my life. I don't care if it's a bad movie or not.
Awesome.
So here's my dream for what I want the next Marvel, and this is because the video game in me. Have you guys ever played Marvel Ultimate Alliance?
Fuck yeah.
Okay, so in the first one, Doom was the big bad. He took the Odin Force and became a god. This is epic scene where Doom is sitting in the made-up country that he lives in his castle, and you see the dead Hulk.
Yeah.
There's a dead Hulk, a dead Cyclops, a bunch of dead like just Marvel characters, and you see a bunch of fighter jets, and Doom just snap his fingers, and it's just like a big no type explosion. I'll be like, I need to see this. I need to see Dr. Doom in all his glory. Just shit up.
That's guaranteed to happen. That's 100%. Yeah. There will 100% guaranteed Doom will eventually become the scariest motherfucker that's ever been in the MCU. 100%.
I think that the way that I would do it if I was gonna do the MCU is Fantastic Four, Mole Men lead to Doctor Doom. Doctor Doom lead to Galactus.
Yeah. Do like a
and then that leads into the next Avengers film. And then the Avengers have to assemble with the Fantastic Four to take down Galactus. And I would do, like, I would set the first Fantastic Four back in the 60s and make it like a Silver Age X-Men First Class type of flick.
Oof.
And then they get caught back in that cosmic storm, and then when they reemerge, like Sword or somebody. Present. Yeah, Sword or somebody brings them to the present.
That's a cool idea. I like that.
So there's the Mole. So the Mole Men have been defeated, but somehow they caused Doctor Doom to be created in the 40 or 50 years that have been missing, and so they come back to Earth and fight the Doctor Doom, and that's why nobody's ever heard of the Fantastic Four.
You must be a writer. Are you a writer?
You must be like a writer or something.
Well,
have you guys seen
I got some fan fiction already.
Have you folks seen the new WandaVision trailer?
Shablam.
Yes, it's crazy.
We should watch it again because it's awesome.
Yeah, we could try to do that.
And no, we don't have to if it's not easy.
Well, last time I tried to play, I did something wrong because everyone said it was echoing. So maybe not this time. I'll figure it out.
Well, this trailer is awesome. It's really I can't wait for this. I think it's gonna be really surreal. All we know right now is that Wanda lives in some kind of weird 50s TV version of a family with the Vision, who is now alive again. And there's like holes in it. Like the trailer gives you enough of those glitches where you're like, this is like Pleasantville. This isn't real. You know what I mean?
Right.
Definitely tripping.
So I'm stoked for it. Can't fucking wait. Also, what's her name? Olsen, something Olsen. She's so fucking hot. Oh my god. She's...
Calm down.
Okay. Remember, Satan loves you.
I really dig it. I think Vision,
Sorry.
Vision's Vision and Hawkeye are my favorite MCU characters. So I'm stoked about this Vision show, and I'm stoked about the Hawkeye show.
Is he gonna go full Ronin? Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. But my bad.
No, I'm sorry. What was it?
No, I was saying I haven't heard of the Hawkeye show. Is he gonna go full Ronin? Because I feel like I got teased with that in Infinity War.
It's gonna be, as far as I understand it, it's gonna have Kate Bishop, and she's gonna be Hawkeye also, and they're gonna do like a Matt Fraction type of thing.
Gotcha.
Nice. That was a very good run.
Yeah.
Okay.
With David Ayer. Hey, yeah. But yeah,
David Ayer, I thought.
Oh.
I don't know. It's AJO.
Well, it's probably Aho then.
Yeah, Aho. Yeah,
Like
he's
garlic?
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm really excited about the Disney Plus series based on that. I think Paul Bettany did a great job as Vision, and that's why Vision was one of my favorite characters from the MCU. I kept, like as soon as he was the voice for Tony Stark, like I was like, he's got to be Vision eventually, right? And then they killed him at the end of Infinity War, and I was super sad. I was like,
that was sad. But I thought for sure. I mean, he's so powerful. I can't believe that like he wasn't much more of a fight for Thanos.
Oh, he was just a puncher bag. He was just the de facto ragdoll of that movie.
So here's my guess. Here's my guess about that whole thing, though. I think we know the comic book world to have the Avengers be around forever, and I think that I don't know if that would be. When you set it in the real world, I could pick up this title and kind of like, okay, I can compartmentalize why these are not involved. But when we're doing the MCU, there's going to be fights where they're going to be like, well, why aren't the Avengers just here? What are they doing? I just spent 10 years watching that movie. So I think it's on purpose that they got to go, here, we're going to spend 11 years telling you an Avengers story. And unlike the comics, we're going to end it. And Vision's going to die. And Captain America's going to be old and in the past. Like, it's the end. And that's why we're going to focus on this new team where whether it's the new Avengers or it's the Fantastic Four or it's the motherfucking X-Men, but there's got to be ends to the story, unlike comic books.
They can't make it too busy. They can't make it too crowded, and they can't let it drag on forever. And
yeah, because those people
get
cost
old.
money. I'll say this.
Money.
And maybe, I don't know. I kind of wish they redo Ultron. I feel like the Age of Ultron was a huge crime to what the character is in the comics, in my opinion.
I mean, he comes back in the comics. He's probably going to come back in the movies.
He's 100% coming back.
Oh, okay.
Guaranteed.
I need to, because Age of Ultron should have been like roughly 1 week of Ultron. You know what I mean? And I feel like out of all the look, man, Ultron assimilated an entire solar system in minutes, right? And I'm like, and this dude is like Ultron, one of the Avengers' biggest bad. Like all he wanted to do was throw a country to the planet. Like I was like, man, you guys should have done so much more with this character. Hell, I think he should have been like reoccurring antagonist. Go ahead.
In the comics, the movie Age of Ultron is actually based on Ultron Unlimited in the comics, which is an old Kurt Busiek story, and it was kind of like a late '90s, I think, story. But that's the one where Ultron just tries to take over the Earth and creates all the little Ultrons and stuff. But his big reemergence into the 616 like main storyline. People think it's Age of Ultron, where he's taken over the Earth and we're living in a parallel reality. But it was actually Annihilation Conquest, because he went off into space and he ended up taking over the Phalanx and raging like across the galaxy, like or across the universe on like this universal level holocaust. And he had to get it was all like the second and third string, and this is Dan Abnett, by the way, but it's all the second and third string heroes, like cosmic heroes, like the Surfer and the Guardians and Nova, and like all these dudes had to stop him. So they could really it would be really cool for Ultron to reemerge on the cosmic front and become almost like an enemy for the Guardians of the Galaxy. So that's definitely something they could do, you know.
And then the Guardians team up with Nova.
Yeah,
for the third one.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
That would be dope. That'd be super
so
dope.
awesome. Now, so do you think with Tom Holland and Spider-Man, do you think they're gonna make him like the new Tony Stark-ish type of character? Like he's gonna be?
I hope not.
You don't think so?
I hope not. But check this out: Peter Parker, modern day with Miles Morales, is kind of a totally different personality, but kind of a Tony Stark type. Super inventor, Peter Parker Industries, all that stuff. So I wonder if that's where they're trying to like kind of creep towards.
It's possible. I kind of want to see more. Like my favorite things about Peter Parker is him trying to like balance out like the stuff they've been doing in Homecoming and Far From Home, where his real like the core of what makes him special is that he's trying to live a normal kid life, while being a superhero.
Yeah.
And you like, especially with Parker Industries and stuff, I feel like they lost a lot of that. Yeah, they lose a lot of that. Yeah.
I mean, but how like I don't know, like 40 years. 40 years, he's a little kid. You know, what I mean, a teenager struggling with life.
Well, even as an adult, like in like the 80s and 90s, as an adult, he's still trying to keep his personal life protected. You know what I mean? He's got Mary Jane. He's got like his job. You know, and he's still trying to be Spider-Man as an adult. And he's still trying to protect Aunt May, you know what I mean? So
makes sense.
I mean, that was the whole premise of the video game, of the PS4 video game. Like, he's getting evicted of his apartment, he can't make ends meet, and he still has to, you know, keep New York safe because, I mean, it's New York and it's a endless job. But anyways, I get it. I understand where you're coming from. Look, my thing is that I kind of want to see like Spider-Man take a more active front, because in these last two movies, Homecoming and Far From Home, all he's been doing is basically fixing Tony Stark and his own fuck-ups, you know what I mean? Like, in the last movie, it was like, hey, here's some sunglasses. They can destroy the world. I'm going to leave it to you, kid. And he goes like, I don't want this responsibility. Like, I would have. You give it to this clear, obvious evil dude. And then he has to fix that, because I don't know why the hell Iron Man created that, because it didn't work well with Ultron. But I digress. My point is, I'm a Spider-Man. I'm a huge Spider-Man fan, as you can tell by the shirt. So I would want to see him more in a active role, more.
I think that I think the problem with Spider-Man becoming more active in the MCU is that he's still owned by Sony. So
what happens if that deal falls through? Yeah.
If that deal they've got to come back to the table, and they've got to renegotiate the deal after the third movie. And so Tom Holland could, like, it's kind of property of Sony right now. Like Tom Holland could go off and do this whole like next Venom trilogy thing, you know, and we'll probably with mixed results and with little to no input from the MCU. But
Feige hates what they're doing with Venom, but but they're still doing it. Like, they want people to perceive Venom as part of the MCU. Feige does not. It's interesting.
Do you think we will ever get like a Separation Anxiety or Maximum Carnage adaptation in the big screen?
Yes.
We're gonna get Maximum Carnage,
especially Carnage. Yeah.
But I think I think that Hank Pym's gonna take over for Tony. I think that would be
dope.
That would be, at least for the next phase.
So old in the MCU.
Yeah, but I mean, he's the only other guy besides Reed Richards and T'Challa that are smart enough to do it. You know, he's the only one that's as smart as Tony.
Oh, T'Challa, what's the Shuri, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. So Shuri. So it could be Shuri. I think that if they're probably looking like, you know, over the next 10, 15 years.
That's one of the speculations is what I like right now is like we're looking at Shuri the big speculation is she gonna be maybe a Black Panther character, or are they gonna do like an amalgamation with Ironheart and she becomes a Iron Man character? So we'll see.
I wouldn't be surprised if they sort of did the amalgamation with Ironheart, but I think what a lot of people want and what they're probably gonna they're not gonna separate her from the identity of the Black Panther.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was about to say that's the whole brain. Like, and plus, like me personally, I think I would prefer the Black Panther mantle just because
They can do both.
Yeah.
Like they could make her fill a role like Ironheart's without calling her Ironheart or dressing her like Ironheart.
Kind of like they do with Wanda.
Off topic, but I want to throw a spear real quick. Orbit Snog Slaghouse says, "I'm still waiting for the Snyder cut. It's gonna be head and shoulders better than the Hatchet job we got." I'm like, why are we still calling it the Snyder cut? Like, shouldn't
it's a whole new movie.
Shouldn't they just call it the new the new Justice
remake.
League?
The special edition. It's a special edition, just like Star Wars.
Justice League remastered. $60 million on reshoots. $70 million. $70 million on reshoots. That's a new fucking movie, which means I hope it's badass then, you know. But stop calling it a cut. It's not a cut.
I thought it was also to make the to finish the special effects too, for the stuff that they already have.
There's an entire subplot that Snyder wanted to include involving Darkseid and all that, which is really the only reason I'm excited about it. But yeah,
I'm excited because
I guess I'll be this guy. I kind of wanted to fail. I'll say it out loud for you guys.
I wanted to redeem the whole Snyder verse.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I wanted to come out and they're like, man, we should have gotten the 4-hour movie in the theater. You know what I mean? Like I wanted to be automatically greenlit the next 2 Marvel or Man of Steel movies. Like I've got like big hopes for it. I'm not sure it's going to be all that, you know, but I think that it's going to be better than people think. And I think
hope it is. More comic book movies. That's dope.
Look, I just wanted to fail because I hate their fans. Not you, dude. You're good. Todd, you're awesome. My point is,
but Michael Malone, Chris hates you. Cypher hates you.
I'm the same way about Marvel fans. Like I'm not.
That's fair.
I like Marvel. I like Marvel comics. I like Marvel characters. I'm not a huge fan of the stuff. But I still go see the movies and everything, and I still enjoy that. But it, like, you know, like the way that Marvel and DC movie fans are so petty, just drives me nuts. You know,
and they don't understand that either.
Here's the
and 70% of them don't read the comics. You know what I mean?
That's fair.
No, that's 100% fair. What?
I'm saying I'll never understand that anger that people feel about it.
Yeah.
Because for me, I love DC, I love Marvel, I love Valiant, I love all of it, and my love for one never conflicts with my love for the other.
Right.
Not even close.
I think the biggest difference that I see is, and I am biased because I am a Marvel MCU fan, but the biggest difference I see is when I see Dark World, when I see Edward Norton's Hulk, when I see Iron Man 3, I go, wow, that's fucking garbage. Like, goddamn, what the fuck did they do there? Ugh. You know? And if somebody who loves DC was like, did you see that Hulk movie? It was trash. I go, I know, right? That's what I do. And but DC is like, Wonder Woman, dope. Aquaman, fun. Pretty dope. But Shazam, fun. But it's like, hey, Batman versus Superman, Justice League. These are not good movies. Like, as DC fans, I know you did rewatch it. You did say you liked it better, but these are movies that I would expect if I was like a super DC head. I would say I would be mad at that they weren't as good as I want instead of claiming that they were so great. That's the only part that kind of like.
Yeah.
Look, my whole thing. Look, and not to. I don't want to disrespect nobody. Look. I don't hate DC. I really don't. It's like Rolo said. But to me, this is my experience, right? Like he said, every time there's a bad Marvel movie, I acknowledge. And I've seen all these movies in theaters, right? But when Batman vs. Superman, I had this dude. I thought we were friends, man. We were like, I know this guy for like 10 years, man. I was like, yeah, bro. I remember coming out the theater. And I made my post because everybody's critic. I was like, bro, I expected so much better than Batman vs. Superman How do you mess that up? That was my quote.
Do you
This is
bleed?
exact. He said this. You're a piece of shit that doesn't know shit about comic, and so fuck you. You're uncultured swine, because that was the thing to call people out. I'm thinking because this is my boy, we're just joking. So I roast back. He blocked me, and I'm like,
Holy shit.
oh, you raggedy bitch.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that always been my experience when I said like, hey man, how you feel about the Justice League? I was like, I thought it was trash. Like, fuck you, the Snyder Cut's coming out and it's gonna put you to shame. Like, dude, I have
Yeah.
no.
So
I have no
excited.
business.
Toxic fans are sort of the enemy of like
Real fans.
Well, yeah, I hate to say it like that, but like the people that read the comics, like know, like that they're not DC or Marvel like that. They're not like they're like superheroes. Like I love superhero stuff.
Yep.
So like for a guy like me and for people that have grown up on like the Saturday morning cartoons and the comics and stuff, we're just like, man, like I was all about that X-Men movie because I knew we were going to get Spider-Man next. I knew we were going to get a new Batman movie. I was just like all into it.
Let's do it. Yep.
And it wasn't about, DC versus Marvel, and those Nolan movies were great. You know?
They were great.
I think that they elevated the genre. I was depressed when I came out of Iron Man because I was like, there's no way that Batman sequel is going to be as good as Iron Man. And then it was pretty good.
Pretty damn good.
I love the Dark Knight. Now,
Yeah.
Dark Knight
Shout
is my
out,
least favorite.
shout out to Peter. Good game. How's it from out here in the islands? That's actually somebody who came over from Nerdwatch. So
And what's up next, guy? Good to see you too.
So
New X guy.
New X guy. Just wanna. This is the last one I'll do, and then we'll move on. Y'all are super optimistic. Every Snyder trailer has looked that good. None of his movies have even come close to being that good. This is the same Snyder we've always seen.
Oh, that's shots fired.
I don't know. Like, what do you think about that, Todd? Like, do you agree?
I disagree. Well, so Snyder's got one move. He just slavishly adapts comics. Like he's got that one move, and when you take that move away from him, then it's not going to be as good. So like 300 panel for panel, the comic book.
Yes.
And everybody loved that movie.
And I fucking love
was
300. Like,
yeah. So it was like, wow,
Watchmen.
it blew everybody's mind. And same thing with Watchmen. Like it kind of blew everybody's mind. They were like, well, and everybody was surprised at how Snyder was able to adapt it, because before that it was unadaptable, and so my and BVS for me wasn't a good movie, and then I watched the extended cut, and then it goes from like a 1.5 star movie for me to like a 3-star movie for me. But like
out of how many stars?
3.5.
Out of how many?
Out of 4.
Okay. Wow.
Out
Okay.
of 4.
4? Who does
Out of
4
4.
stars?
3 out of 4.
Okay, out of
Either 5 stars or 10 stars.
Look, it's like a 4 out of
this
7
is the mega
stars for
system.
me.
Then we'll say I'll give that movie a B plus.
Okay,
Like it's
all right.
4 out of 5.
All right.
That's like saying, man, I give that movie 1 star out of 1
Deleted
stars.
scenes.
So the best movie ever. All right.
Yeah.
So the best movie ever. But like the extended cut is long. So I understand if you don't want to watch
I like the
comic
extended
book
cut.
movie that is based on like a 80s, 90s DC stuff, like I get that. The thing that I'm excited about is I read that Jeff Johns Justice League stuff, and Cyborg had a lot more to do with Justice League. And when I watched that movie, I was like, they cut a bunch of his stuff out.
Yeah.
Because it was about like the team kind of came around Cyborg as a character, and it was his origin story. So that was how they built that story. And I was sort of thinking that we were going to get kind of a Black Iron Man.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And it was going to be like this sort of really great, really touching, heartfelt story about his origin and his relationship with his dad, and that was going to be in the movie, and that none of it was in the movie. And they cut all that stuff out to make it funnier. So they tried to like make it, they were like, okay, but we need like quips and we need like comedy, like Avengers.
That's right.
So let's get
right.
Joss Whedon, who did Avengers, to cut this. and that's why I think they kind of messed up. Is like I came out of Justice League and I was like, man, that's the best Marvel movie I've ever seen. Like because that's kind of what that's what they sort of did. They sort of they took the formula and they used DC characters, and it's incompatible. You can't really do that.
Makes sense.
DC characters are more serious.
Speaking of DC, there it is.
So this is kind of a relief to me because I use this service a lot. DC Universe is going to become a premium comic service as the TV originals move to HBO Max. They're going to start calling it DC Universe Infinity or Infinite.
Yeah.
I can't remember. Is Infinite or Infinity the one with the E? I think Infinite. Yeah. Infinite. And that's great. It means it's not going away. So I was afraid back during the great DC massacre of a few weeks ago, I was afraid that they were just going to get rid of this. So I'm glad it's sticking around. It's not going to have all the new shows anymore because they want you to pay for HBO Max, but you'll still have a huge backlog of DC comics, which is great because that's really what I primarily used that service for anyway. And we can still watch Harley Quinn on HBO Max.
How is that show?
It's hilarious, dude. It's like a dirty, naughty, hilarious sequel to the Batman the Animated Series.
Harley Quinn, right?
So
yeah.
Awesome.
Harley Quinn.
Awesome.
I've been wanting to watch it, but
so good.
It's great, man. I can't stress how great it is. It's hilarious. It's one of my it's one of my favorite DC things that's ever been put on a screen.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah, it's really good. Really kind of drawn together humor almost, but way
better. Way better. Yeah.
Animation style is similar to Batman the Animated Series. So it's almost like a spoof, but done by the people. So it's a spoof that still fits. I don't know. It's weird. I've never seen anything like it. So Jim, are you guys into Labyrinth with David Bowie? Jim Henson's Labyrinth is coming to Boom with a new one shot.
You've never seen it?
I mean, I've seen it. That's what I said. I've seen Labyrinth, but I never loved it like some people absolutely love it.
I enjoy it. It's not my favorite thing ever, but
mine is just nostalgia. It's just movie from when I was little, so
yeah,
I automatically love it. Yeah,
it's hard to really see it now with all the special effects and the digital effects and everything. They're so good now, but there was a time when Jim Henson's puppetry, it was pretty mind blowing. Mm-hmm. The level of expression that never seen anything like it. It was brilliant, It's cool that this is coming to Boom with a one-shot by Lara Eleni Donnelly, who did Amberlow, which I never read. Artist French Carlemagno.
Yeah.
Who
that was Italian.
Did the Dark Crystal Age of Resistance, which I didn't read Age of Resistance, but I have been watching the Dark Crystal show, which is really good.
Which is canceled.
I know, that sucks.
Canceled.
It was cool.
So what I have
that one of those Netflix chopping blocks.
Yeah.
Yep.
So on the screen you have the Jim Henson cover to Masquerade #1, Labyrinth #1. This art, because I'm only saying this because you mentioned the artist. This art is Jenny Frison did this cover. I don't know who that is, but just want to make sure no one confused the artist.
Yeah, it's cool. I like it.
Yeah.
I like the colors too. Has a almost Hansish vibe, but nothing's Hansish, obviously. But it's got a Han.
Just kidding.
I think I got a Yu-Gi-Oh card that looks like that.
Okay.
Oh, no, not even lying. I'm running for real, say Mars style and everything. I'm like, huh.
Maybe
some of my trap cards.
And then what's her? There's a couple other creators I don't recognize them, but there's Samantha Dodge who did Catwoman, Soul Stealer, and Pius Bach who did the Magicians, Alice's Story. So there's a lot of people involved in this. So I don't see any reason why it shouldn't be good. I think I'm gonna, if it's a one shot, why the hell not? It's low commitment. I'll pick it up. And read the shit out of it. Why not?
And especially if it's if you like the movie, Yeah.
Some bad news. Bad news for me, but I think good news for a lot of people because a lot of people hate this, but I like it. Bendis is leaving Superman.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I worship the ground that Brian Michael Bendis walks on. I think he's amazing, but he's very controversial. A lot of people don't like him. A lot of people think he takes too many liberties with characters. What those fools don't realize is that he's basically the reason comics are what they are now, like the sarcasm and the humor and like the relatability and the diversity. He brought that to comics. He changed comics, and they're never changing back. There's pre-Bendis comics and post-Bendis comics. He's a genius. But anyway, other people have opinions about it too, I guess. Good for them. So there's he's leaving Superman. The House of Kent epilogue in Action Comics 1028. Jesus Christ, 1028. We'll see Bendis, John Romita Jr., and Klaus Janson, a fucking amazing creative team, wrap up their time on the current storyline involving Superman and the Invisible Mafia. Lady L and her associates recently killed Melody Moore, attacked Lois and Jimmy, and somehow bought the Daily Planet. Presumably, this final issue will reveal the aftermath of the Invisible Mafia's plot and bring closure to Superman's family questions such as John's aging up and Connor mysteriously remembering Mom, Pa Kent. So this is going to be Superman 28, which is out December 15th, and Action Comics 1028, which is out 22 December. So just check it out. Maybe people in the comics can talk about what they don't like about Bendis doing Superman, because I know a lot of people don't really like it.
I think that Bendis was a good. I mean, he had a lot of respect for the character, and especially because he's originally from Cleveland, like the original Superman creators. So he's always drawn, like, whenever you watch interviews with him or anything, he's always drawn a line through Cleveland from the first superhero to the stuff that he does with Marvel and now DC.
Have you ever seen the Cleveland tourism video? Have you ever seen that? It's like this video advertising Cleveland, and it's funny because it's really about how much Cleveland sucks, but it's like there's like a song about Cleveland showing all these shitty pictures of Cleveland, and at the end they're like, "Good times at Cleveland again. We're not Detroit," and that's the end.
Yeah.
I guess that's a win, man. That's a win.
We're not Detroit.
We're not Detroit. But I think that I think that he's probably got a little bit more reverence for Superman than say something like Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I think that
although he does it.
Yeah.
With Spider-Man.
In your opinion.
Everybody loves Spider-Man.
Yeah. No, I think that that quippy and the comedy that he brought, the quippiness and the comedy that he brought to Spider-Man, that ran, people ran throughout the entire Marvel line. You know what I mean? Like he brought that in, and then you're right. It just kind of was sort of an explosion from there. I want to see what he does next. I want to see what, for me, I've been saying this for a long time. I like Bendis' old stuff, like his true crime stuff, and like Torso and Fish, and I want him to do like a true crime Batman comic.
That would be cool.
That would be awesome.
Yeah. Like,
that would be cool.
Do like a Batman solves a murder that's unsolvable kind of thing, like the way that they did, like From Hell. From Hell was about Jack the Ripper and the true identity of him. You could take the myth of some true crime and make it a Batman story, and I think Bendis is perfect for that.
Dope.
So kind of not sure how to segue into this, but I called it a special report. This is a IFLC special report, which means I spent over 15 minutes Googling this, so that is the special part of the special.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Hey, 15 minutes is a long time.
I looked at Twitter. Hey, can you bring that up just a little bit later? Or now. Yeah, okay.
Just talk. Jesus Christ. You're live.
So,
act like you've done this before.
So here's the deal.
I like how in sync you guys are.
Yeah.
I like how Backstreet Boys you guys are, so whatever. So check this out. There is this production company called Terrific Productions or Terrifically Legion. Like, they have both names on their shit, and nobody really knows which one is right. But so allegedly, Robo added that in bold letters so we don't get sued. All this is allegedly. Allegedly. Boom. You hear that, you fucking lawyer piece of shit? Anyway, so they've been scamming artists and writers with insane contracts and not paying people. But this story actually goes a little bit farther back to, so some mysterious publishing company bought that nobody really knows about. Nobody had ever heard of. They bought the rights to get this fucking not Cyberforce.
A Youngblood.
Youngblood, yeah. They bought the rights to Youngblood. And they had a huge dispute with Rob Liefeld. They were originally going to work with him to create new Youngblood, and he was so pissed off at them that he was like, I'm never doing Youngblood again. Fuck you guys, you can have it. Run into the ground for all I care. So they've had this property for about a year, maybe a little bit longer, and they've been making these ridiculous tweets. So this is, like, you look at their Twitter, going down to their headline, it's the second image. It's the second image after the contract. So, Terrific Productions, the next revolution in comics. The first major comic company built by fans, serving fans of America's fastest growing #comics publisher, saving the industry, submissions, blah, 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 blah. So, these tweets are fucking ridiculous. They've been blasting out tweets for a while now, and it's like this sensationalist shit. Like, it's a great day to start again. Join us on our journey to produce a world of excitement that brings you into incredible adventures. You get to be the first to experience the birth of a universe that you only thought you knew from childhood. And that's like the normal one. It just goes downhill from there. They're like, my wonderfully, this is all capitalized, but not full caps. It's first letter caps. So these are all proper nouns. My wonderfully, terrifically, Legion, we expect to be at 28,000 sometime today, which is terrifically, all caps and beyond. We believe that our #Grauhic, GRAOHIC novels will be picked up by people with interest in #comics, #games, #films, #1990s nostalgia. Every viewer can retell our origin story. And then it's like, it just goes on from there. You can peruse these. They're all on here in my notes, but yeah, you can peruse these. They're pretty crazy. And they get to their list of why they're changing the industry for the better. Number one, we're the first publisher that has stated unequivocally that our mission is to be fan first versus other public companies who place investors and artists before the fans. We love you. Okay, this is all in very broken English, which who knows, maybe they're not English speakers, which that's fine. But you would think that this is a company that's about to take over the world of comics. At the very least, they would have had someone proofread it. Number two, we're the first publisher that has stated unequivocally, they've used that word a lot, that artists need the security of a monthly stipend if they are to do their best work plus royalties so they can be secure. More on that later, by the way. Three, we're the first publisher that has stated unequivocally that our comic fan decide what you make. TP only provides an advanced stipend to get their work done. So notice the conflict here. They're saying that they're really good to their artists by giving them a stipend to keep them making money while they're working, so they can take their time and like do it right without having to worry about making ends meet. But then they send this message of like, the fans will decide what you make. Like they're like it's a restaurant where they're working for tips. So there's a lot of conflicting messages here. I'm not going to go into all these. They're pretty ridiculous. But the juicy part is they've been allegedly commissioning artists and then refusing to pay them. And I read an account where I can't remember the name of the artist, but they had him on the phone and they were like, they offered them a pretty good contract. So they accepted the contract. The artist finished the work, and then when they called them to get paid, Terrific Productions was like, okay, here's the deal. We'd like to offer you a different contract. And the person was like, no, I just want to stick with the first contract and have you pay me. And they were like, so here's the deal. Either you accept this new contract or you're not getting paid. And the new contract is like this incredibly shitty deal. And you can go up, like the first image that we had up on the screen, you look at the not even fine print, you look at the bold print here, and goddamn, like this is insane. This is their COVID policy. So, special COVID-19 terms. The recipient will continue to get 50% of the page rate until COVID-19 has a 90% vaccination for the general population of the United States and Canada, or 2,500 direct comic retail stores in the United States and Canada are open full-time for business. The remaining 50% will be paid from the following revenue upon receipt of payment by the disclosure, whatever that. I don't even know. That's bullshit. 20% of the profits from the comic issue number that is the recipient is owed the second 50% of the fees for all the paid. Like, you'd have to be insane to take this deal. This is a terrible deal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Bro, if you just broke, just say that. It's easier.
Yeah. This is insane.
Wow.
So it's been blown up on Twitter. Rob Liefeld's been tweeting about it. Donnie Cates tweeted about it. Pretty much everyone tweeted about it last week. But the takeaway is: do not work for terrific productions. Do not do commissions for terrific productions.
Well, now I'm not.
Do nothing. Associate them with them in zero ways.
Yeah.
Is this insane or what?
Todd's just like, publish your own books then.
Yeah.
Easy.
I mean, I heard about this back when Rob Liefeld said that they ripped him off, and Rob Liefeld, was so dissatisfied with the company, he walked away from Youngblood, which is, sold millions of copies. Like that's, I don't know how he could walk away from that.
That's crazy.
But he did.
Yeah.
The guy, terrifically, is owned by, I think, a dude named Andrew Rev.
Mm-hmm.
And he also bought Elementals from Bill Wingingham. So I think that like those properties are what they're going to try to, build their brand on. But it doesn't sound like anybody wants to work with them. It sounds like it's a worse deal than working for Boom Studios.
They've already, which I've heard is terrible. This sounds even worse.
Wow.
They've burned so many bridges. Nobody trusts them. They will never capitalize on these IPs unless they sell movie rights.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
That's sad.
Man, it's sad. It's sad that in a time during COVID when artists are struggling, creators are struggling. This is not an easy time to be creative, and it's sad that there's vultures out there that are really trying to take advantage of desperate creators. It's unconscionable, and I'm glad it's been exposed.
It's funny too because we talk about this kind of stuff on like other levels, right? Like as far as like left and right and politics and social shit and blah 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 blah, right? And we go like, wow, that's fucked up. They're ruining comics because of this and this and that. And then you like have this, you almost forget like, hey, sometimes there's just fucking pieces of shit out there, and it doesn't have anything to do with anything besides I'm a piece of shit and I want to scam somebody. And then you have this story like, oh, what's your your bend? What are you trying to do here? I'm like, scam you out of money. That's it. And it's like, God damn, dude, just pure evil. It's crazy. Allegedly.
Charlatans.
Yeah. Allegedly.
Yeah. Well, the reason it's funny, it comes full circle. The reason we're saying allegedly is because this dude, Rev, has actually been like threatening and suing people that talk shit about him on Twitter. What is it? Tortious interference is the legal term for if you talk shit about a company and they think you're.
Yeah, I'm a lawyer. That's true.
Hey, real quick before we go on, Cypher has to get out of here. Hey, thanks for coming on. Sorry we didn't get to video games. We like to talk, but maybe next time. Or
it's all good.
Go ahead and find one of his comments in the thing. Follow Cypher World because every other week or so he'll do a chill spot, and definitely will get to video games with that. And he does a live show on that side. So,
like I said,
peace out, Cypher.
Thank you guys for having me. Hey, Ty, it was nice to meet you. Can't wait to read your work, bro. And yeah, man. Do you guys have like a catchphrase, like a signing out phrase that I can just casually yell out as I go?
Yeah, it's like, hey guys, see you later. Bye.
Okay. Goodbye, friendly neighborhood nerds.
There you go.
Goodbye. Hey guys, see you later.
Yeah,
okay.
bye.
Bye.
See ya.
That's what I'm gonna use too.
Maybe the Yiddish version of Lo Tigre. It'll be like, I don't know what it is, but I'm guessing it sounds something like Yom Tigristenberg.
That's all you. You got it.
Cool. So, yeah, I don't know what else to say about that. I thought it was going to be a longer talking point, but I think we all just agree that they're fucking pieces of shit, and they're horrible people.
Yeah, agreed.
And on a more positive note, Aldous Hodge, I think people in the chat are going to be excited about this too. Aldous Hodge is going to play Hawkman in Black Adam. Please update the costume. Please update the costume.
No, I want the chest strap and the
Can we talk about what a mess
it's-
Hawkman's costume is?
It's gonna be.
What?
It's just gonna be the. It's gonna be the costume from the League, right?
Yeah.
What's it called?
Titans.
No,
No.
The
I know what you're talking about.
Tomorrow, League of Tomorrow.
League of Tomorrow?
League of Tomorrow
Or
from the
Legion-
CW.
Legion of
There it
Tomorrow?
is. Legion of Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yep.
How is his costume there?
It's not great. I mean, it's CW great. So it's the mask with the beak, and it Hawkman and Hawkgirl both have the
Big
Yeah.
And it's-
fake eyes.
Yeah.
yeah. It's pretty good. It's not great. It's like if the Flash was going to be, if CW's Flash was going to be part of that Ezra Miller film, they would probably have to update his costume too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I mean,
100%.
look at this dude. So he got the tights. That's fine. That's standard superhero fare. He's got the gold belt. That's fine. This is where things really fall apart. What are those straps? Why are those straps that have to be that way? That's just like so unnecessary. And I like the symbol, even though it seems it's not my favorite of the superhero symbols, but he's got the symbol, and then we get to the real disaster, which is this ridiculous fucking head.
Wait, is that a Thundercat symbol?
It looks like a Thundercat symbol.
yeah, no, it's Hawkman ho.
Yeah.
I just have never liked. Every time I see Hawkman in a comic book, I'm always like trying not to pay too much attention to him because it's just so not cool looking.
Somebody told me that the Hawkman, the recent Hawkman comics are like the best DC comics out there right now.
They're pretty good. Dan Abnett had a run that was pretty good.
Yeah.
And I think right now Venditti is writing Hawkman, and I love Robert Venditti. He wrote Unity. You know what I mean? Or no, that was Matt Kent. He wrote Exo Manowar. He wrote a great run of Exo Manowar. So yeah, I mean, I'm not saying anything about the stories of Hawkman's a cool character. Just the appearance of him is very unsettling.
Glennis and Michael, they both say that they want nothing changed about the costume. Michael says, if you can't see his nipples, what's the point? And Glennis says they love the harness look. Sexy, Judah. That's what they are. They're sexy.
We need.
I say corrected.
He needs underwear on the outside of his pants. That's my one critique.
I do want to hear more about this. Does anybody here, and if Orbit wants to drop, I can't drop links. I don't feel like Googling it right now. Something is going on with Hawkman. Something's going on in Twitter. I caught a glimpse of it, but I'm really kind of like exhausted. I'm like, I don't even fucking care. No. Something where he's canceled, and like alt-right dudes are like now wanting to like stand Hawkman for something. Something's going on that whole left and right thing. Nobody knows. Maybe
I don't know.
Orbit says Hawkman was canceled for some bizarre reason. You know what? I lied. I'm gonna look it up. But you guys continue. Talk amongst yourselves. Hawkeye.
Yeah,
I never really got into Hawkeye. Although, I always really dug like superheroes with wings. You know what I mean? Like I like the look. I think that it's kind of, it's iconic. You know?
Yeah.
The nth metal is a huge part of Hawkman's story, and that's also kind of a huge thing going like as far as like Dark Knight's metal goes and all that other stuff. Like, and then even with like the stuff leading up to Infinite Crisis, like that's kind of an important. It's like his Uru, I guess. Maybe I don't know. It's along those lines.
Never mind.
Yeah.
I think I misunderstood him anyway. There is something I heard about Hawkman, but I think he meant that it the title got shot down, like got canceled.
Yeah.
I think. Oh, okay.
No,
I think I'm kind of excited about this Black Adam movie. I wonder how villainous he's gonna be, though. You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
comic Black Adam is pretty awful sometimes.
Yeah. So but I feel like with the movie they're gonna have to make him, because it's The Rock. They're gonna have to make him kind of more of an anti-hero, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You can't not like The Rock.
A lot of people don't like his acting. I love The Rock, but I know a lot of people don't like his acting. A lot of people, when it was first announced, I heard like, ugh, you know, because he's that action heroes type. Like, I don't
He's
know.
a good actor. Have you seen Ballers?
I've
on
seen
HBO?
Ballers. I love you. I mean, your Preachers to the Choir. I like Dwayne Johnson, but I'm just saying there's a lot of people out there that really do not like his acting style, or I don't know what it is, because Jumanji, I thought he was great in.
I have a theory. I think they're confusing him with Vin Diesel.
I think that, I mean, he was really good in The Rundown. He's been, sometimes when he's not playing like a Disney character, you know what I mean, like Jumanji or something, like he's got a little bit meatier role. You really see the way that, like, he was good in Hercules. Like that Hercules movie was pretty good. I think that he was able to. I think that he's gonna be able to. He's kind of molding the role to fit him, because I think that he's like executive producer and stuff on this movie too, right? So I'm kind of excited to see, especially because Shazam was so good. Like Shazam, surprisingly good.
Who wins in a fight
Robert's-
between Dwayne and Arnold Dwayne in his prime versus Arnold in his like Mr. Universe pumping iron prime?
Dwayne, because Arnold was all about. He even told you. He said bodybuilding is an art. It's literally art, and your body is the sculpture that you're chiseling. He wasn't athletic or fought or anything. Dwayne was a football player. He's athletic. All that stuff. Yeah, Dwayne would kill him.
Yeah.
I think Arnold would tell you that too, though.
I've argued that before too. I also think that Dwayne would win, and I'd also be rooting for Dwayne. But I brought it up at work once, and everyone like jumped down my throat showing me pictures of Arnold being jacked. And
those are the dumbasses that think that size equates to fighting skill, and it does not.
Does not.
He was really big for Hercules too. Like I would take, if we were talking like fictional characters, like I would take his Hercules over Conan the Barbarian too. You know what I mean? I feel like Conan is just too slow, and The Rock was pretty fast.
Yeah,
he'd probably outmaneuver Conan pretty easily.
That's actually a good
Agreed.
point when you like think about it. Not even in the character, you look at the acting and you watch Arnold Schwarzenegger as Conan, and he's very bulky. He's very because he's not an athlete. I'm sculpting my body to be big, and which is amazing levels of discipline. Like taking nothing away. I fucking love Arnold Schwarzenegger, but no, he wasn't an athlete. And Dwayne Johnson.
No, I mean, and most of those times when he's in a fight, he's not really in a fist fight. He picks somebody up, and Arnold would pick somebody up and like throw him through something.
That's right.
But he was always like Commando, Predator, Terminator. That was always him shooting somebody. You know what I mean? So he never really got into like a physical altercation with too many people.
At what point does size negate skill? Like, do you negate skill? Like, do you size negate skill? Like,
all right, stop there.
Like, do you think?
So guarantee, I highly. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, yeah, I highly doubt anyone stuck around for that, especially since there's a 20-second delay.
We got Snoog still here, but yeah, I guess when Todd just took a bathroom break during that loop of me saying size negates skill, size negates skill. But we got Snoog here. We got 3 people in the chat now. But when Todd gets back, we can do it.
Did you let him know? Did you let him know in the chat we're back?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm sure they know by now. It's been 20 seconds, so.
Yep. And Malone's still here too. Oh, we got new X guy. We still got people in here.
All right. Dope. They're better than me because I'd have been like, all right, I'm done.
Yeah.
So
we have a loyal following.
So size negates skill. So I've said this before. If you guys didn't hear it enough times on the loop, the thing was, is there's absolutely a skill. So like pretty much for the past 10 years, I've always been a big dude. At my most athletic, at my most fittest, I'm usually running about my fighting weight. I'm usually running about 215 pounds. And even as a vet, running, putting a big heavy pack on my back going forward, that still never translates into throwing fists and grappling. I would wrestle with people, especially when I was deployed. We would do combatives and stuff to work out. I would wrestle with people damn near literally 50 pounds less than me. Like little guys that are sitting at like 160-ish and they will completely destroy me because there's so much technical skill. Now, that said, this is where people get fucked up. That said, there is a reason for weight class. But weight class is when all else is equal. Two equal fighters, the bigger dude who could land the heaviest punches I would put my money on that person. But the size doesn't come with skill, and big dudes get their ass beat all the time by little guys with more skill. So, yeah.
Right.
Cool. Well, you guys want to? We're running about 2 hours. You guys want to wrap this up?
No, we're cool. Good. Yeah, it actually happened. I'm glad we came back so we can say our goodbyes and outro out of this bitch. But I was like, oh, that's good timing. This is about when we should be wrapping up anyway.
Everyone here is still coming to terms with the great glitch of 2020. We're getting the survivor tales. New X guy was like, once I wasn't sure it wasn't me. I was too, Glynis. And Glynis is like, oh my god, I was so scared. Yeah, like this was traumatic for me too. I mean, I'm sitting here talking to Todd, knowing that we're not online, but I didn't want to interrupt Todd because he's answering my question. I'm still interested in what he's saying. Oh, and it was just like,
well, say it again, real quick, and then we'll be done. Is it interesting? Is it
good? It's basically what you said. I mean, it was just like, if you've got somebody who's big but not a very technically good fighter, then he's not going to do very well. Like I brought up Brock Lesnar, and then like another guy, like he was an okay wrestler, like Greco wrestling, but he wasn't technically very good as a grappler, and he would go up against the guys that were very proficient in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and he wouldn't be able to, really do anything against those guys. So, all things being equal, yeah, I think that like the heavier, bigger guy is probably going to be able to,
we'll have an advantage.
Land that punch. Yeah,
my perception is that King Kong is more skilled than Godzilla, but I still think Godzilla is going to take out King Kong just by the sheer size disparity.
And the city block that King Kong's sitting on, you know what I mean?
That's right.
Like that's not. I mean, it's not that's not really a fair fight. Really.
I do believe that there is like a scale that I can slide across, where yes. A 10-year-old, we actually have a shirt on Teespring for this, a 10-year-old who has been taught fighting since birth, I could know nothing about it and still murder him and go to prison for the rest of my life. There's no, that person's not gonna. So there is a limit.
I wonder where that threshold is. That's what I'm wondering. Is
is that threshold? Post-puberty.
Well, no.
I'm being honest. I know what you're asking. I'm saying. Post-puberty, meaning a human being that has the bone density and muscle. So once you go through puberty and you have like a certain type of muscle and bone density, when that person is able to inflict enough damage on you, which a child couldn't, that's when you're like, now an 18-year-old, now a 16-year-old, 17-year-old that has been training since they were 2 will fucking kill you, no matter how. Yeah, you know what I mean. So
okay. Fair. Cool.
All right. So good. That was a good close on comic books. All right. You done? We done? We want to say goodbye?
Bye, everybody.
All right. Hey, real quick, I'm gonna throw this up real fast for the people still in the chat. Todd Bernardy. I'm gonna throw up his covers real quick.
That's me.
Covers are on the screen. Go ahead and check out his books. I'm gonna type it in the chat real quick. What is it? Mulberry what?
Groove, GROOVE.
.com. Hey, so just through the link in the chat, check those out and buy some books, buy some support your local artist, even if he's not local to you.
Todd's good at stuff.
All right.
I like Todd's stuff. It's good.
All right, see you guys.
That's the only endorsement I care about is I freaking love comics.
Aw. All right, see you guys. Oh. And search for Nerdwatch on Facebook because you guys should follow them. See you guys.
Follow Nerdwatch.
Thank you for watching IFLC. Please like, subscribe, ring the bell, and be free. Follow our links and watch our show because you want to and not because of the threats. Thank you for watching Judah, Robo, and Ryu. notable guests, and sometimes it's just us. But we're all so cool